How to have a good relationship? Good question. We know that at least 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will experience an abusive or harmful relationship in their lifetimes. And this series of videos is designed to help you have the knowledge, the skills, the understanding that you need to be sure you're not one of them. Today is part 3 of the series, and we're going to look at the early warning signs. Right at the beginning of the relationship, when everything is just wonderful, there are still some things that we can watch out for to make sure we're not going to enter into something that we may regret later. So please don't forget to click that like button, subscribe to my channel, and after you've watched the video, if you think it may be useful for other people, friends, family, colleagues, whoever, please do share, because we need to protect as many people from harm as possible. Oh, and please stick around to the end. I'm going to look at the next stage in the Kerry McCauley case, homicide case, where there is clear evidence of the consequences of missing or not being aware of those early warning signs. When we first meet somebody, those feelings are absolutely amazing. We can't wait to see each other. We take extra care of how we look, how we act. Every minute apart is torture and is spent thinking about that person. The excitement can be absolutely overwhelming. And this is true for most people, the wonderful early days. So that's normal. That's not unusual at all. And these amazing days should be enjoyed to the full. Getting that thrill when you first see them. The difficulty of saying goodbye. You hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Looking deep into each other's faces without actually needing to say a word. However, this is a really good time to be cautious because, as the old quote says, marry in haste, repent at leisure. And obviously I'm not talking about marriage here because many people don't get married now, but it's the commitment that marriage represents that I'm going to be talking about, and is the fundamental thing that underpins this video. Because the most dangerous people, and definitely many of the less dangerous but still very harmful people, will want to rush you. They want that commitment as soon as possible. Before they get to know you, before you get to know them, they are going to want to hear the words, I love you, and yes, I want to be with you forever. Quite often, these people will do whatever they can to coerce you into a position where you end up saying, I love you, when maybe you don't, or where you make a commitment to moving in together where maybe that's not what you really want. So my advice there is just to slow it down a bit. Be aware that, I'm not saying this person is, but many, if not all, abusive, violent, dangerous people will try and get you into that commitment stage really early on. Because to them, once you've made that commitment, that's the end of the story. That commitment is final. You don't get a choice to go back on it without punishment. And the commitment is from you to them. They don't necessarily make a commitment to you. The other fact to be aware of is that narcissists, psychopaths are very, very charming. They can make you feel as though you are the best thing that's ever happened to them, and that you are the only one that they care about. You are the best they've ever met. You're the one they've been waiting for. And they will charm you with lies. They will do whatever is necessary to get you to that place where you commit to them. But this was all just superficial, and you will find no depth in their character. They can be easily spotted just by saying no to them. If you say no to a narcissist, a psychopath, generally an abuser person, what is their response to that? Ask them, how would you describe yourself? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your character? Who are you? And they will find that question really, really difficult because they don't like to reflect on themselves. Simple questions, watch the response. I recently had an experience of this where a man online, on social media, I'd never met, but he was determined to tell me just how amazing I was. Beautiful, intelligent, kind, basically just great. And when I tried to say to that person, oh, I'm just a normal woman, I have my good stuff and my bad stuff, he actually disagreed with me. He would not allow me to be me. He also asked me not to ghost him. I think he said block me. But he was also showing a lot of emotional dependency there. And when I pushed him for information about himself, he just got angry and then he disappeared. If I had been vulnerable at that time, I might well have fallen for his attempt at manipulation. I might have well had a big empty hole inside me that said, I really want somebody to be telling me this stuff. So that's kind of what to look out for. If somebody is telling you stuff about yourself that you know not to be true, nobody is perfect. Nobody is absolutely brilliant. We all have our flaws and we all have our strengths. And what we're looking for is somebody who can see both and wants to be with us anyway. So just be cautious. Sometimes our own emotional state leads us to believe things that are blatantly not true. So they're the things you need to look out for. How to get it right is really, really simple. Take the time to really get to know each other. Meet their friends, their family, their colleagues, and just observe how they interact with them. Do you like what you see? How do they treat you when other people are around? Do they treat other people the same as they treat you? Or are you put aside as a special, stuck on a pedestal kind of person? That's a bit risky because no one should be up on a pedestal. Are they consistent in their moods and behaviours? Or do you have somebody who goes up and down, unpredictably? Are they stable and consistent across different situations? And again, do you like what you see? Can you predict how they're going to behave in any given situation when they are feeling really good and things are going well, but also when things are not going so well, because they're the bits where we have risks. Once the excitement and passion has reduced a little bit, are you left with somebody whose company you enjoy? And do they enjoy yours? Because ultimately, that's the thing that's going to last. How do you resolve differences? Because you will have them. If you haven't got them, then one of you is being way too compliant. But how do you resolve them? Is it something that is a mutual, collaborative process? Or is it one person giving in? How do you make decisions? Are your decisions joint? Are you able to compromise with each other and come up with something that is a win-win? So please do let me know about your early relationships and some of the good and maybe the less good experiences that you've had in the comments section below. That would be really interesting to hear. I'm now going to continue with the story of the murder of Kerry McCauley by Jo Story. In the last video, I talked about the history of Jo Story and how that indicated high risk for Kerry. So today I'm going to look at when they first met and how things were then. So when Kerry first met Jo, she had come out of other abusive relationships, and she said that she just needed somebody. She didn't feel like she could cope by herself. And so she met Jo. And when she first met him, he was charming, he was thoughtful, he was generous. He bought her flowers and gifts, he treated her to holidays. He was the perfect gentleman. He paid her all the attention she needed. He said all the right things. He was brilliant with her children. And within a month, Jo had managed to coerce Kerry into a position where she said she loved him. She allowed him to move in with her children in their little flat, and he became part of their family. Jo at this stage had got the commitment he needed and very soon became abusive because he was sure he had her at this point. She'd included him in every part of her life. She was his. In the next video, I'm going to look at how the relationship develops, both in healthy terms and unhealthy terms. So please do join me next time. Thank you for watching today, and please don't forget to press the like, subscribe and share buttons if you haven't already done so. And remember, please enjoy your new relationship, but keep safe.